Welcome back to ciLiving. Before the break, Ryan from the U of I Extension was quizzing me on gardening myths, and I understand you have a few more questions for me.
I've got just a few more. We'll see how you do on the next set.
All right. I was, 1 for 3?
Yeah, that's not
break.
bad. That's not bad.
So let's see what we've got.
Okay, our next question, myth or fact? If a pesticide is organic, it's safe.
Ooh, I'm going to say myth on that because, like, arsenic is technically organic, but probably not the safest. So I'm going to go myth.
Yeah, very good, very good. Just because it's organic doesn't necessarily mean it's safe. It's safe when used according to its label, but there's also toxins involved in some of these type of organic labeled pesticides. A lot of times they're labeled for organic use because of their means of production. They came from a plant, they're more sustainably produced, but the bottom line is they are killing things out there. They're controlling pests and insects and things. So you still have to be careful with your exposure, and you still have to use those carefully as the label dictates.
And probably maybe be careful around like fruits and vegetables like lettuce or whatever that would absorb them.
Certainly. And there's recommendations in that labeling. You know, that's a legal document, the label for a pesticide, and it'll tell you how to safely use that on food crops or others. So that's the bottom line, is always follow the label.
Yes.
But also be careful with these. Any type of pesticide, you need to be careful with its proper application. So.
Okay. All right. Got it. So that was 1 for me. What's next?
Okay. So myth or fact, tree wounds never need a dressing. So when we make a pruning cut, should you put a dressing on that? Is the question here. This comes up a lot.
I'm going to say no, because I would imagine a tree probably knows what it needs to do to heal itself. So I'm going to go, it does not need dressing.
That is absolutely correct. You're getting better at this.
Yes!
You're getting better at this. That's a fact. You should never put a wound dressing on.
Okay.
And in the past, we used to think that pruning paint, you'll see this still sold at garden centers and other places, help that prune, seal in the stuff, not cause any more problems. But actually that unnatural chemical you're putting on that cut surface causes damage, we found out. And so you're right, just leave it to the natural processes, let it heal naturally. It's going to be a lot better than anything we can add as humans.
Okay, got it. Was that the last one, or do we have one more?
I think we may have one more question here.
Ah, we do.
So, myth or fact, you should always plant potatoes on St. Patrick's Day.
I feel like that's a give me. That no, you probably don't need to only plant them on St. Patrick's Day, but I don't know. Am I wrong?
No, you're correct.
Okay.
You're correct. You're really improving on this.
Great.
Yeah, that's a myth, and a lot of folks want to set their planting time by a certain calendar date or a certain day of the year, or you've probably heard about planting by the signs. This has to do with, the phase of the moon and other things.
Yes.
A lot of folks plan their planting that way. Really, your planning should be based off of weather, and whether the immediate weather forecast coming up, what's happening today, should really be dictating some of that timing, not a calendar date. And with planting by the signs, as fun as that is, and I've done this in the past. I had a friend, a fellow gardener in the past, that really followed that.
Right.
A few years ago, I did a literature review of the science around that, and there's really not much science that backs up that planting timing around the signs. And some of what researchers found is that it's just about your same 50-50 chance of getting something right or wrong, whether you're planting by the signs or not. So better off to listen to the weather forecasters, listen to what's going on in WCIA, and figure out, when is the best timing based on weather, not necessarily the calendar.
Right. So. Okay, cool. Well, this was really fun. Thank you so much for bringing this game and for teaching me all this about planting. Hopefully I will have the greenest thumb by next year, but I always learn a lot from you, so thank you for coming. And coming up on ciLiving, I will be trying out Adam Sherwinski's job as a meteorologist, and also there's a garage sale that's coming up in Central Illinois, and the money raised will be going to the organization Courage Connection, so stay tuned to find out more.